Hello and welcome to Arcana with Amber Lee. This is your July 11th reading, and today I'm going to be using the Herbal Healing Oracle deck and the Motherpeace Tarot. It's my only round deck. Let's see what the cards have for us today. We're going to start with, let's say, one of these. For the highest good of all who are watching this right now. Teasel protection. I love the purple in the eyes. I love the third eye highlight here, as well as it feels like crown energy as well with that purple. Protecting thoughts, protecting what makes you you, protecting your state of mind. Let's see the clarification for this from the Motherpeace deck. And I do like to, at the end, read from the Herbal Healing Guidebook to learn more about the plant itself. And this is because I'm trying to increase my own knowledge of plants and things. Now, this is not an easy deck to shuffle, so I'm going to speed this up probably. Okay. 10 of Wands. I'm just going to put this over to the side. 10 of Wands. The 6 of Cups. And the 6 of Swords. So in the Motherpeace deck, you get these beautiful, primally driven, inspired by the sacred divine goddess imagery. So here you're seeing just an explosion of energy here. It is feisty, but it's also very purposeful expression. It seems like they're trying to keep something away that needs to be driven away, or by their focusing on the energy around them, it makes everything that isn't aligned with this energy seem smaller and smaller and further away. I'm also going to check out the guidebook for this Motherpeace deck and see what is being directly referenced. I am really curious, but the light in the distance, the fire within, the beauty of community here, even if it's unity within. And I'll get into that another time to talk about how we can look at the tarot and see so many different meanings, but especially when there are so many characters, individuals on a card, it's speaking, in my opinion, to the variety of thoughts that can live within us and the unity of them when they come together, and how it can form one singular action. This is saying to stand up for what you believe in, stand up for what is aligned with you, by showing up daily with actions that align with that. Now, I love this 6 of Cups, but it being what's clarifying protection, it's begging the question, are your people that you are currently spending time with, the people that you're making memories with, are they helping you on this journey? Or are you finding that you might have to hide your journey from them? And if so, what does that mean? Because the people that you choose to be around, your community, your merfolk, if you will, in this card, it's definitely giving mer people, just riding the waves of life together and all holding their cups up in a toast to celebrate life. Are you able to celebrate life with the people that you're around, or do you feel that your celebrations are something to keep to yourself so that you don't make anyone feel lesser than? And I'm curious if that is a reflection of a need to move forward. Another wonderful card of community, it seems. All 6 of these wonderful beings are floating down together to their next space, or have they floated upwards together? Doesn't really matter. They're no longer where they once were, and they are journeying either up or down together, but they have decided upon this, and they are holding roses in their left hand, symbolizing a reception of love, a reception of affection and attracting things in. And then on the right, they're all holding swords and they're pointing them together in a beautiful flower. Oh, so cool. I've not seen a 6 of Swords exactly like this before, so forgive me for getting a bit distracted. I wonder if you see what I'm seeing as well with this floating above the pines, above what is keeping you grounded, but also being aware that, you know, what goes up must come down. Anytime you move forward in life, you must also be forced to consider what you're leaving behind. I do wonder if this teasel protection is speaking of spiritual protection as well as literal protection in this next chapter. I say literal because there are certain things that we need to do every day that are simply parts of protecting ourselves, right? Like putting on a seatbelt or looking both ways before we cross the street. And I do have road imagery coming to mind, probably because this is all about moving forward. But are you taking precautions spiritually as well? Meaning, if you know that you're going to be in a situation that requires you a bit more energy, make sure that you are doing your meditative work, make sure that you're shielding your energy, make sure that you are giving yourself what you need to preserve your energy before you are around anyone or anything that could potentially be a drain. And a drain isn't necessarily done on purpose, and it's not necessarily a bad reflection on the place. It's just, if you are someone who is sensitive to other people's emotions and energies, and for example, you work as a bartender or in the service industry, you might be finding yourself asking, oh man, why am I even more tired than normal? Or why am I reaching for coping mechanisms that I don't quite normally align with, or things like that. Check in with yourself and see if you are doing your work to keep your energy yours and the rest, the rest. Let's see here. Now we're going to read from the guidebook, and then we're going to have some final thoughts about these cards here today. There is so much here about friendship, community, and your place in it. And I want to get into the teasel of it all. Teasel, protection. Remain mindful that timely right action and correct conduct are your only two protection. Ralph H. Bloom, The Book of Runes. A lesser-known medicinal, teasel has little status as a medicine in both European and Native American traditions. The plant is better known for its spiny flower heads, traditionally used as tools for combing or releasing wool and other fibers. Thus, the knowledge we have about teasel stems not from a Western background, but from traditional Chinese medicine. In this ancient system of healing, teasel root is recognized as a tonic to the kidney essence, known as yin in TCM. It eases chronic pain and inflammation of the muscles and joint, improves circulation, and strengthens the knees and lower back. When teasel appears, take care to protect yourself and your creations. This is reflected by the plant's appearance. In its second year of growth, giant basil leaves give way to a tall, prickly stalk with bright purple flower heads protected by lance-like thorns. Do not show your creative plans or blueprints to those who might steal your ideas. Protect your creations as well as your visions. Even speaking too freely about a new idea may jeopardize its chances of manifesting. The plant is also used as a remedy for Lyme disease, which is often carried by deer and passed to humans via deer ticks. Herbalist Matthew Wood tells an interesting teasel story. After treating a Native American woman with the herb, her Lyme disease was cured. She later told him that the Deer Nation thanked him, for they did not desire to be carriers of something that would harm them. Wood has also observed deer tracks in snow coming from multiple directions, all leading to the same place on his farm, the patch of teasel. It would seem as if the deer themselves want to direct us to the cure for the disease which they carry. With its strong connection to deer, teasel also warns us to beware of hunters. Sometimes, deer stand very still to make themselves invisible. Other times, they run at full speed away from danger. Knowing when to stay concealed and when to retreat is important now. Also be on the lookout for parasitic people who may seek to feed off of your life energy. Still, there is no need to be fearful. Just be mindful and vigilant and do your best to keep your energy contained at this time. In Chinese, the name for teasel means to restore what is broken. This points to the energetic properties of the plant. By Wood's estimation, teasel is a plant especially suited for those who have stepped off the path in their lives, who have suffered some form of trauma that causes them to feel broken, listless, or lost. Teasel teaches that despite our best efforts, not every trauma can be avoided, and sometimes even our best efforts at protection fall short. Drawing this card may indicate a need to heal past traumas that still affect your life. By forgiving those involved and focusing on your own needs, you will be able to move forward more efficiently. What causes growth for some may cause setbacks for others, but such is life. Let go of any identification with victimhood and restructure your life in a way that leaves you less vulnerable to future traumas. Both teasel and deer are underappreciated and seen as a nuisance. This reminds us that the inherent value of life often lies below the surface. Just because a particular person or circumstance causes us harm doesn't mean that it has no value for others. Remember, the breaking down in any area of life always allows for new seeds to be sown. Deer are often depicted in myths and stories as leading us into new and unexpected adventures. Stay present with the now moment, whatever it may entail, trusting that your future holds great wonder and beauty. Follow your intuition at this time, protect your assets, and tread lightly. Take care not to overexpose yourself in any way. If a change causes temporary chaos, know that a fresh and better order will eventually return to your life. This trust will ensure your safe passage into a new reality. Okay, so we were definitely picking up on the whole feeling of whether or not your environment is feeding you or taking from you, right? I do have some suggestions. Something that I do anytime I'm going to be speaking to others, being involved with other people, especially before I go do any readings, I always like to speak with my spiritual team. I like to cleanse myself by taking a shower and then using some incense, or sometimes I like to use Palo Santo, and then seal it with some Florida water or anointing oil. Setting a strong intention for what you want out of your interactions with others can also be a way of setting a better shield between yourself and anything that seeks to drain your energy. I would also recommend, if you find yourself with less alone time than the average person, you might want to start to take a bit of alone time in between social interactions to check in with yourself, whether just quietly reflecting, or if you're a person who likes to journal, that's a good way to get your feelings down. How are you feeling after you're spending time with certain people or after you go certain places? You can start to pick up on patterns as well. And if you find that you're starting to feel less than awesome every time you're either around a certain group of people or an individual, or if you go a certain place, that is worth noting and exploring so that you can hopefully find a way to break that pattern and be aware of if something is not for you anymore. Even if it was at once, it's okay if it's not always. I am going to see some more. I want to get into this a little bit more. Let me see. Tell me more about this 10 of Wands, please. Just one more for this 10 of Wands, please. And then we'll see here. Ooh, ooh. Yep. Temperance and the 4 of Swords. This is indicating a need to spend less time wondering what others think of you and more time pouring into yourself, your higher self, the self that connects with the world around you, that keeps going even after we're all gone. And we were talking about chakras a bit in the beginning. I do think paying extra attention to all of your energy centers, meaning not just how you're feeling regarding your creativity and your security, but also, as I was speaking to somebody about not too long ago, checking in on your upper chakras is sometimes a little bit more difficult and feels a bit more abstract, but you might want to really check into what your higher thoughts are trying to tell you, what your intuitive thoughts are trying to tell you, what your third eye is seeing. Because we do see a lot of things that sometimes we would prefer to ignore. But it's okay if you see what you see. Just don't ignore your intuition, especially if it is showing you something that is a better way for you, that is a more peaceful way, that is a more fulfilling way to move through this world. Highly encourage you, if you can, to take some time to reflect and ask yourself, am I being drained? Are my ideas and goals protected at this time? If you need to make a copyright so nobody steals your $1 million idea, please go for it and see this as a sign to get that going, okay? But I think that is all for today. I appreciate you joining me for your reading. And this is a timeless reading and a general reading, so as usual, take what resonates, leave the rest. If you'd like to see the transcript for this reading, it'll be available on my Patreon, as well as the still image of these cards. And I would love to chat with you. You can comment over there if this resonates with you, or here on YouTube. And I hope to speak to y'all again very soon. I'll be back tomorrow, and I hope that your day is full of divine protection and choices aligned with your next move.